Good grief, still sipping on this coffee. It's cold as... Ugh, I don't know. I made it this morning. This morning being noon, because I didn't get up until lunchtime. Which is a whole nother story. That's probably going to be the last video. Don't let me forget. Put it in the comments section. Tell me there's a video in regards to me not getting up until noon because I was watchdogging. Please, seriously. I do this thing. It'll be great to see, who comments. Okay, so we're still talking about the supply chain here. The lines at some of these shops was just really odd and made me feel really uncomfortable. And, I mean, let's face it, when you're effectively playing Pac-Man in real life, things get a little weird, and it takes a lot more time to get what you need because you're waiting for that person who was there before you to leave that section. And let's face it, you're not going to be fussing at them to hurry up, move along, because you want to get on with your life. You want to be polite, because you're a decent person, right? You're watching this channel, so you're a decent person. And I like to believe that about my viewers, that they're nice people. And so, like me, you're going to be standing there, waiting for them, just patiently waiting for them to make their selection and move on. And yeah, it really is Pac-Man. You go in, you follow the lines on the floor, trying to collect all the items, and not running into anybody else in the aisles. I don't remember who first came up with that, but whoever that was, good on you. That was a very clever way of wording this. And it was every bloomin' shop. So the construction that we were trying to do as well was disrupted because we were trying to go to the DIY center. And sure, they had a lot of stuff still available because, hey, who's going to be risking injury from construction during a time like this? I mean, we had things we wanted to do. We wanted to build more veggie beds. We wanted to move on with our lives, continue working on the shed that we started. So yeah, we're gonna be, still going to the DIY center. And so it's also another place too where, now that I think about it, I get some of my soap products from. Because some of the ingredients I can only get from them. So I remember going to them from time to time too, and just checking to see if anyone else had started learning how to make soap during the lockdown. So I would check supplies, and sure enough, there was obviously a rush on soap making products, because I noticed that not only were those products that I would get from the DIY center selling out, but then other ingredients that were essential to making soap were also selling out. And I thought, yeah, fair enough. So there's a lot of people who now know how to make soap who wouldn't have known otherwise. And so standing in these long lines and having to take time meant that, again, my schedule was mucked with, and I was losing time. There was so much time in my life that just seemed to be burning up for no readily apparent reason. It was driving me insane. So going to multiple shops, standing in long lines, having to wait behind other people, because I'm polite, I wanted the same privilege provided towards me, so, there you go. And then waiting at the house for those disinfected and antibacterialized items to be ready to handle again, and then changing clothes and having a quick shower after having gone out and collected these things that we needed. It was just insane. Then, of course, when I brought these items in, I wiped them down, because, I mean, you kind of should anyway, just normally. But here we are in a global pandemic, and we don't really know a lot about this thing at that point in history. So with gloves on, I'm wiping down these items and trying not to let them touch my body, because I'm being pedantic about this, OCD much. But it worked, you know, we didn't get sick during the lockdown, so obviously I did a good enough job. And then, you know, as per usual with my regular schedule, it comes into the house, it gets wiped off, and then it gets put on the shelves. So that much of my life managed to stay organized. The stuff coming in and getting onto the shelves where it belonged. That worked. But yeah, I was just very disappointed in how much time seemed to be being burned up by just these odd incidentals that I completely did not expect to happen. It was just the strangest thing. And because of all this, I wound up missing out on practice time. And it wasn't just the lack of the fluidness of modern life that I had become accustomed to and scheduled my life on, that, you know, losing that, how do I say this? It wasn't just the loss of that fluidity that caused me to lose practice time. It was also Alpha needing to work from home. Now, I said earlier that in one of the other videos that he is in a managerial position. Now, this means that he was constantly receiving and sending phone calls. And so there I was in this position of needing to be quiet all the time. And because he was in constant contact with headquarters, you know, hearing some blaring music in the background kind of wasn't all that on. In fact, it wasn't on at all. So even though I knew he didn't mind, I knew that his superiors would mind, and I would mind as well, because, I mean, you know, I'd be sitting there in the middle of finally figuring out this one particular groove, and then he comes in, hey, could you tone it down a bit because I'm on the phone? No, it wasn't going to work, and I knew it. Because he was on the phone on average once every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes. Hey, how you doing? No. Just no. No. So, sad but true. He was working from home, and this caused me to not be able to practice for a total of 7 months. Because I was too sick to practice for a couple of months, and I very nearly lost my voice. I don't know if you guys remember the cartoon or not, but Real Monsters was back in the 90s. It was a really popular cartoon, and there was one character that was called Oblina. Well, my voice wound up sounding exactly like Oblina. It was so bad, and I thought, my God, is my voice ever going to recover? But I thought, you know what, if this is what I'm going to sound like, I might as well live it up. So I was enjoying it. I was having some fun with it. Unfortunately, I don't have any recordings of it. I wish I did. I would totally share that with you guys. But yeah, I really was worried that that was how I was going to sound for the rest of my life. So I did not get any practice time in for 7 months. Now, for me, that's horrendous, because I normally practice some music every day of my life, and I've done that for nearly 25 years. And so to have that taken away from me was just horrific. It was horrible, and it started causing me depression. And I wasn't sure what to do, because this passing year, so here it is, October, I had booked in over 60 performances as a performer, doing something as a performer somewhere. And that got chipped down to literally 4. And I thought, wow, this is bad. I got 3 in before the lockdown, and then I got 1 in post lockdown lift. I still didn't get to achieve what I wanted to, because I was supposed to have been a model at a local air show at the plane museum. So there were going to be some warbirds that I was supposed to pose next to, in front of, beside, that sort of thing, and I kind of didn't get to do that, because yes, I do a bit of modeling on the side as well. But I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. Yeah, even going out and getting photographs done wasn't gonna happen, because, well, on that particular occasion, it rained. It rained during the air show. What kind of luck is that? It's just messed up. That's what that is. So, thank you for watching this 5th episode of this. There's a 6th one coming, and it's more about the impact of Alpha having to work from home, and what happened because I missed all these performances, and I was missing out on fitness, and I was missing out on the healthy diet. So we're nearing the end of this collection, guys. We're nearing the end of this.